A lot of people really don't like indicators with their trading. It clutters up their chart too much. They say it doesn't do enough to predict future price action. That's perfectly fine. Listen, there's hundreds of different ways to skin a cat. There's a lot of different ways to make money in the stock market. So in today's video, we are going to showcase how you can utilize purely price action to build custom codes in ThinkorSwim. Working with price data. In this section, we are really going to dive into the 4 data points provided to us by a candle, that being close, open, high, and low. And we are going to talk about how you can utilize these price action data points in different ways to build custom studies. For our first code example, I'm going to do a little bit of a recap on what we've already learned in this course while applying new price data information into it. The first thing I want to do is some conditional formatting utilizing price data. I'm going to get rid of our demo line of code here, and I am going to declare a variable with the keyword define because I don't need this to be plotted anywhere. I'm going to name my variable a bullish candle, and we are going to initialize this variable with a value of close greater than open. This means that the bullish candle variable will be true if the current bar close is greater than the current bar open. What I would like this code to do is to plot an arrow at the top every time this bullish candle condition is true. So I'm going to declare another variable with the keyword plot, as this time I do want it to show on the chart. I'm going to name this variable bullish arrow, and we are going to do a little bit of conditional formatting using the if statement. If bullish candle, so if the close is greater than the open on the current candles, remember what is our next 2 keywords of the if statement? If condition, then expression, else expression, right? If the bullish candle is true, then we want to plot our arrow at the high. Else, remember, what do we do? What do we call when we want nothing to happen? Using dot notation, because we must let the computer know that it only exists within the double data type, we call double dot not a number, or NaN. Now we have to make use of some look and feel functions because we want the machine to know that we want to see an arrow at this plot. That is what we would like to see painted. So once again, using dot notation, as we want our look and feel function to be in reference to the bullish arrow variable, as this is our condition where we would like the arrow to plot, right? Bullish arrow dot, and then we are going to call the function set painting strategy, which accepts a parameter of painting strategy, which is also a data type that has constants stored inside of it. So in order to call those constants, what do we need to use? Again, dot notation. So I'm going to type in painting strategy dot arrow underscore down, close our parentheses, end our line of code with a semicolon. If I now hit OK and hit apply, you will now see that on every single green candle, we are getting that arrow down. At this point, I am contractually obligated to let you know, not really, it's my own course, but you are currently watching a free video course section from my full course, How to Code in ThinkorSwim. We are currently in chapter 3, section 2, working with price data. This is just one of 36 other chapters in this course. That means there are 35 other videos just like this one, and they all come with text lessons as well available in this course. If you're interested in codifying your trading, head on over to daytradingstrategies.net, link in the description down below. Click on course and sign up today. So we learned a little bit there about utilizing price data inside of operators and logical conditions. Now, let's go ahead and teach us something new about how price conditions can be called. Let's say instead of just, hey, is the current candle green? I want to see if the current candle is closing greater than the high of the previous candle. This is called offsets, and we can let our machine know that we would like to look at an offset by using brackets after our price action call, and whichever number we put within this bracket is the number of bars back the machine will look when performing this operator comparison. So if I want the arrow to be plotted when the current bar is closing greater than yesterday's high, I do high, open bracket, 1, close bracket. Now, if I hit apply, we should be seeing the arrow only on bars where the current close is greater than yesterday's high. Current close greater than yesterday's high, current close greater than yesterday's high, current close greater than yesterday's high. This can also be true. I mean, I can do the same thing. I could make it go, whoops, I missed. I could make it go from 2 bars back instead. Now, if the current bar is closing greater than the high from 2 bars ago. True. You see how this bar didn't close above this bar's high, but it did close above this bar's high. Now we can utilize an action function here to add even more usefulness to this type of operator condition. Let's say instead of wanting to know whether our current bar closes above the high of a singular selected bar back, we want to see if the current bar closes above the highest point over a selected set of bars back. So let's say we want to see if the current bar is closing higher than the highest high out of the last 10 bars. We can do that by using the action function highest. If I just wrap my high here with this function, highest open parentheses, the first parameter of the action function highest is data. We want to be looking at the high price action as our data. The second parameter, once again, remember, separated by comma, is length. So over the last how many bars do we want to be comparing against this data set? For our instance, let's go ahead and say 10. Is the close greater than the highest high of the last 10 bars? Now, if you're going to use the highest and lowest function in this way, you need to make sure that you are offsetting it by 1. Because think about it. The current bar close is never going to be greater than the current bar high, right? So you have to offset this highest data by 1. You have to look back at the value it was on the last bar. Once again, does that make sense? Because if you don't do that whenever the high is breaking out, it's going to be comparing against also the current bar high, which of course the close can never be greater than, so it'll just never be true. Now, I'm going to teach you one more trick to this as well before we hit apply. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to plot a variable named whatever here, and I'm going to copy this in. This is the easiest way to ensure that you are performing your condition calculations correctly. Now, when I hit apply, I will see a line that is plotting this highest high of the last 10 bars offset by 1 so that we can confirm our arrows are showing where they're supposed to be. If I go ahead now and hit OK and apply, you see that line being plotted on the chart and you see the arrows being plotted when the current bar is closing above the highest high out of the last 10 bars. Just for continuity's sake, let me also show you the reverse example here. If we wanted to see return true when the close is lower than the lowest low of the last 10 bars, I will once again just go ahead and copy this because we want this plotted this time. If I now hit apply and OK, well, I guess you would also probably, if you were doing this, want the arrow up and plotted at the low of the candle rather than the high. If I go ahead and hit apply and OK, you now see whenever the current bar is closing below the lowest low of the last 10 bars, you are getting an arrow up plotted at the low of the candle, because remember, our bullish arrow, or in this instance, you probably want to rename it as well, our bullish arrow variable, though, is set to where the arrow should be plotted, and then we are utilizing the set painting strategy look and feel function in reference to that variable to tell it what to plot. Let's just showcase, of course, that you can compare price data with study functions. So let's say that we want to see if the close is less than the 200 simple moving average, for instance. I'm going to use the simple moving average function with the length parameter set equal to 200. I will once again, for testing purposes, copy that second condition into a plot. If we are closing less than the 200 SMA, I should be seeing my arrows up painted at the low of my bars. If we go ahead and come out now, wow. Oh, I'm looking at NVIDIA. Okay. About to say, wow, this chart hasn't been under the 200 SMA in a while. Yes, this is the NVIDIA daily chart. Yeah, it's been a while, but when NVIDIA was trading under its 200 daily SMA, you are seeing the up arrows plotted as they should be. And just so I can quickly showcase like the easiest way I would say to clean this up, because Trey, why the hell would I want an arrow every single time a bar closes below the 200 SMA? The way that I would choose to clean this up is that instead of using the less than operator, I would use the call crosses above. This will now only show if the current bar close is crossing above the 200 simple moving average. So if yesterday's close was less than and today's close is greater than the 200 SMA, that is the only time you will now see these arrows. Thank you for making it this far into the video. Remember, you just watched a free section of my course, which contains 35 other sections. So if you're interested in continuing your education on building code within ThinkorSwim, check out the course over on my website, daytradingstrategies.net. Click on this course link here. Get signed up today. Hit like if you learned something. Make sure you subscribe if you would like to learn more. With all that being said, I'll catch you all in the next one.